James Clear's Atomic Habits. It is the most powerful and practical book written on building habits. Can't believe it, right? Well, see for yourself. The condition of the British cycling team, Team Sky, was very poor from 1980 to 2003. Until then, the British cycling team had won only one gold medal in the Olympic Games. Their performance was deteriorating day by day, and their performance in the biggest cycling race, the Tour de France, was the worst. Seeing this, a European bicycle manufacturing company even refused to supply them with bicycles, because they feared that if people found out that the British cycling team used their bicycles, it would have a very negative impact on their sales and reputation. To solve many such problems, the British Cycling Organization hired Dave Brailsford as the new coach. Dave Brailsford was quite different from all the previous coaches because he worked with a strategy, which was the aggregation of marginal gains, meaning that if we improve even the smallest parts of our work by 1%, then combining all these parts will yield exceptional results. Dave Brailsford applied this principle to his team. He redesigned the bicycle seat to be more comfortable and experimented with different fabrics for the riders, which were lightweight and provided good grip for the tires, and he didn't stop there. He tried to improve every single thing related to cycling by 1%, things we couldn't even think of. He had special pillows and mattresses made so that riders could get quality sleep. He learned the proper hand-washing technique from doctors to prevent his riders from getting sick. He researched different massage gels for his riders that would provide the fastest muscle recovery. This means that Dave Brailsford tried to redesign and improve everything by 1%, from the eye drops for the riders to the oil used on the bicycle chains. The result of this was seen in the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, where 60% of the gold medals were won by his team, and in the next London Olympics, his team set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. The strategy of aggregation of marginal gains, meaning a 1% improvement, enabled an ordinary cycling team to achieve 170 world championships, 66 Olympic and Paralympic gold medals, and win 5 Tour de France titles in just 10 years, from 2007 to 2017. The 1% improvement is something we might not even notice, but in the long run, it can yield very effective results, like a compound effect. The author says that instead of setting goals to achieve something, you should create systems, because goals are directly related to the result, whereas systems are related to the process that can lead you to the goal. Creating a healthy and fit body is a goal, but eating healthy food and exercising is a system. Scoring 98% in an exam is a goal, but daily reading and thoroughly understanding the subject is a system. Goals are fine for setting direction, but if you want to make progress, his goal, follow the system. Because winners and users both have the same goals, but the one who follows the system and continuously makes small improvements easily achieves their goal. That's why the one who sets goals and continuously implements them is called a winner, and the one who just sets goals and does nothing is called a loser. Just like any material is made up of small items, in the same way, remarkable results are also made up of atomic habits. So if you want to achieve remarkable results, forget about the goals and follow the system. Generally, habits can be changed in 2 ways: outcome-based and identity-based. Most people want to change their habits through outcomes, but instead we should follow identity-based habits. To explain with an example, there are 2 men who want to quit smoking. The man who is trying to quit smoking with an outcome-based habit, like most people, will say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit smoking," if you offer him a cigarette. But the person who is building an identity-based habit will say, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." This statement is very small, but its effect is very significant. People want to improve, but they don't want to change their identity, which is why they can't change much. Because all our actions are generated from our set sense beliefs. The things you do repeatedly become your identity. Every action you take votes for the person you want to become, because no single action can change your identity, but its repetition can. Whenever you write something, it adds a point to your identity as a writer. Whenever you speak confidently, and well with others, your identity as a public speaker grows. Whenever you influence others, your identity as a leader increases. Therefore, decide what kind of person you want to become and keep taking small steps to cast votes for it. If you want to become a gentleman, then your way of speaking and your behavior during travel in buses and trains should also reflect the behavior of a gentleman. Because we are changing our habits based on identity, that is, in alignment with our belief system. Our habits are generated through a total of 4 steps. Q. Craving, response and reward. Q refers to the things that remind you of the reward. Craving compels us to seek the reward, and our response leads us to obtain the reward. We desire the reward because it either provides us with satisfaction or allows us to learn something new, forming a habit, a behavior that becomes automatic when repeated frequently. And our goal in forming a habit is to solve problems. With very little energy and effort, we can divide any habit into 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. If any one of these 4 parts is insufficient, the behavior will not become a habit. If you remove the cue, the habit won't even start. If you reduce the craving, you won't feel like doing the task. If you make the response difficult, you won't be able to do it. And if the reward doesn't satisfy your desire, you won't do it again. Explain this entire process of cue, craving, response, and reward with an example. So, you're sitting and your phone rings. That's the cue. You want to read the message, to see what's written. That's the craving. You pick up your phone and read the message. That's the response. The feeling you get after reading the message is the reward. The more satisfying the reward, the more you'll want to repeat the process. If you want to build good habits, you need to make the cue visible, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. For example, if you want to build the habit of reading books, you need to make your cue, that is, the books, visible. This means you should place them somewhere noticeable, too, where you can immediately see them, like on the sofa, on your bed, on a table, etc. So you can instantly notice that, yes, I need to read a book. The next step is to make the craving attractive. For that, you can use bookmarks in the books, so that you can easily find where you left off. And even in a 10-15 minute showtime, you can easily read it. You can also keep books within your hand's reach, meaning wherever you are sitting, you should be able to reach out and have the book in your hands, making the response easy. Never place books in a spot where you have to exert even a little effort to get them. Just keep them in a place where you can quickly grab them. The last step is to make the reward satisfying. The timing of which book to read is also very important. So by choosing the right books, you can increase your level of satisfaction. And if you want to quit bad habits, reverse this process, meaning make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response difficult, and the reward unsatisfying. For example, if you want to quit mobile addiction, the first step is to make the cue invisible, meaning place your mobile somewhere. You can't easily see it. Next, to make the craving unattractive, you can think that repeatedly unlocking your phone, scrolling through it, and opening the same apps every day has never gotten you anything. In this way, you can gradually reduce your craving for your mobile. The method I used to make the response difficult was perhaps the most effective. I removed the face and fingerprint lock and created a 12-digit password that included a combination of capital letters, small letters, numbers, and special characters. It took me 10 to 15 seconds just to type such a difficult password, which helped me break the habit of frequently unlocking the phone and checking apps within a few days. This is because your brain doesn't like to remember and type a complex password just for a small emotional relief. So it will never prompt you to unlock the phone without reason. To make the last reward unsatisfying, delete time-wasting apps from your phone. If you are too addicted to your phone, use it in grayscale, which will make the anticipated reward unsatisfying. So, it's a simple matter of making the cue, craving, response, and reward visible, attractive, easy, and satisfying to form good habits. To break bad habits, we reverse this process, making the craving, response, and reward invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying, Now let's learn about some interesting principles related to our habits. Most of our habits are formed in a similar way, closely related to these three powerful groups. That is, we quickly start following those habits that are followed by people close to us, habits that are followed by many people, and habits that are followed by powerful people. Many people feel that they lack motivation, that they don't have motivation, and that's why they are unable to start work. But the reality is that they lack clarity, not motivation. That is, they don't even know what to start, when, and how. We Indians have taken motivation a bit too seriously, whereas the environment matters more than motivation. In a hostel cafeteria in Boston, students were drinking a lot of cold drinks. The food management department got to know about this. Without saying anything to the students, they influenced them to drink water instead of cold drinks. They arranged the water bottles and cold drinks in the cafeteria in such a way that students started picking water bottles instead of cold drinks. People choose products based on where they are placed, rather than their benefits. For example, the item that is packed and kept inside your kitchen, you won't pick it up quickly. But the item that is kept in the fridge or somewhere on the kitchen platform, you will keep eating it quickly. Because the environment has these invisible hands that can easily change our human behavior. To keep the washrooms clean at Amsterdam airport, the airport cleaning staff conducted one simple yet powerful experiment. They placed a small sticker of a bug in the middle of the urinal, so whoever came would try to aim at him and remove that bug. As a result, spillage around it was significantly reduced, making the airport washrooms much cleaner and fresher. We think that a lot of willpower and self-control are needed for self-discipline, but that's not the case. Disciplined people design their lives in such a way that they don't need any kind of self-control to stay disciplined. For example, if they feel that the TV is wasting too much of their time, they simply get rid of the TV. Meaning, no TV, no problem. The problem of self-discipline is very simple. If you try to build it systematically, with self-discipline, proper instruction, and hard work, you can achieve anything, which is best exemplified by the story of Polgar, the sisters. Hungarian chess teacher and educational psychologist Laszlo Polgar believed in hard work. He believed that by building deliberate practice and good habits, you can make children geniuses in any field. He chose Carla for this experiment, who was a teacher, and also believed that with proper instruction, we can advance our skills. For this experiment, Laszlo and Carla chose chess and prepared a complete plan to elevate their children to a world-class level in chess. Laszlo, Polgar, and Carla had 3 daughters, named Susan, Sophia, and Judith. Susan and Sophia achieved a lot in chess, and Judith, who was the youngest, made it to the top 100 chess players in the world at the age of just 12, and at the age of only 15, she became the world's youngest grandmaster, which led her to remain the #1 female chess player in the world for 27 years. The point is simply that by building good habits, and with the support of a proper environment, we can achieve a lot. Now let's talk about the paperclip strategy, a strategy that enabled an ordinary bank employee to earn a 6-figure income. On Stephen's desk, there were 2 jars, one filled with 120 paperclips, and the other empty. Every day, Stephen would come in and make sales calls, and after completing a call, he would take one paperclip and put it into the other jar. In this way, he started each day with 120 paperclips, and continued making sales calls until he had moved all 120 paperclips. Stephen's simple secret led the bank to earn several $1 million in profit, within just a few months, increasing his income from a modest 5 figures to 6. The use of the paperclip strategy is to visually measure your progress. You can choose any method, such as moving marbles from one container to another. But the key is that by visually measuring your progress, you can clearly see how much time you have left, which will help you continue progressing with the habit. There are many benefits to tracking, because it's common to forget the progress you've made when you're not in the mood. But habit tracking is visual proof of your hard work. It reminds you of where you started and how much progress you've made. You must have heard the sentence many times, think outside the box or step out of your comfort zone, but no one specifically tells you which box or which comfortable zone they are talking about. I found the solution to this problem in Atomic Habits, which is the Goldilocks Zone. Human beings like challenges, but only those challenges that are in our optimal zone of difficulty. To give an example, suppose you like playing tennis, but if you start playing seriously with a 10-year-old child, you will soon get bored because it's too easy. Conversely, if you start playing with professional tennis players like Roger Federer and Serena Williams, you will quickly lose motivation because it's too difficult. However, when you play tennis with a player of equal skill, sometimes you will win, sometimes they will win, and you will only win when you put in a little more effort. This is the Goldilocks zone, where a person is most motivated when they are at the edge of their current ability. Not too hard, not too easy, just right at the edge. Sometimes you might have seen in a cricket match that when both teams are powerful and only a few runs and balls are left to win, the team that plays with full effort stretches their comfort zone. That's why we also need to move a little away from our difficulty level to stretch our comfort zone. But remember, only move a little away, whoa, not too far, because we need to stretch our comfort zone, not break it. Today, people fail to achieve success not because of failure, but because of boredom, as mastering something requires doing the same task repeatedly. Doing the same task repeatedly makes you bored, and you give up on it, believing that successful people have immense passion. However, many coaches say that successful people also get bored like ordinary people. They also feel a lack of motivation and boredom, yet they continue their practice, which ultimately makes them world-class. James Clear's Atomic Habits covers the content of all books written on habit building. If you want to understand habits, Atomic Habits is the best book you should read. If you want to read this book, I have provided the link in the description, which will definitely teach you something new. Thank you.